please. Ma'am, could you come on up, please? Have a seat back in the witness stand. I appreciate it. Good morning. Okay, we good to go? Okay, we ready for the jury? I'm going to bring him in. Let's go ahead. Yeah, I'd like to get the jury in sometime this morning. So what do we have? Come on up.
Just take a second. All rise for the jury.
Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated in the courtroom. When we recessed, the witness had been passed for cross-examination, so I'll ask the defense to proceed, please.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Ms. Hale, last time we left, the day before yesterday, the jury left the room, and then now they're back today, and so I kind of want to go through a few things. I think the first thing I want to talk about, though, is just you weren't there when we picked the jury, but we asked them if they gave us permission to ask tough questions of witnesses that are like you, have gone through trauma, have gone through tragedy. And so I just want you to know that we've asked them if we could do that, and every one of them there has agreed that we
I
could.
object to being outside the record, not proper for this witness to respond to it.
Well, it's just that I'm about to go into some difficult stuff.
Okay, well, go ahead and ask a question, then I'll overrule the objection. Go ahead, proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. May I approach the witness?
Yes.
Ms. Hale, you and I have gone through that statement that you made to the ranger, and we talked about that, and I played it for you the last time that we were here together.
Yes.
Okay. And so, Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to play the statement that...
All right, you may proceed.
And Ms. Hale, just to center it, this was a statement that was taken 4 days later when you were being interviewed by the ranger about your experience and what happened that day at Robb Elementary. Is that right?
Yes.
.58 p.m. on Saturday, May 28, 2022. This is Texas Ranger Josh Wilkinson. I'm here with Special Agent of the FBI, Sean Curtis, and we're here today interviewing Ms. Zook. Correct your now. Zook. I'm sorry, Ms. Zook. Hale. It's now Hale or it was Hale?
No, it's now Hale.
Now Hale. Okay, so it's Mrs. Hale. And so what I'll do, ma'am, and your first name is Stephanie, correct?
Yes.
And it's Stephanie?
Yes.
Okay. Hale. And your date of birth, ma'am?
5693.
No, you're fine. You're fine. All right. And what's a good contact number for you, ma'am?
830-688-6856.
All right. All right. So as I discussed just a moment ago, I'm just going to have you kind of walk us through from start to finish, what you remember.
Okay. I picked up my students from the 4th grade building at the library. Before that, I guess I was in room, I think it's 130, with an interventionist. We were going through her manipulatives since she's retiring. So I was a little late picking up my kids, but the librarian had them outside because I'm usually very early. So I walked out around, I'm going to say 11:26 or 27
Okay.
with my students. And we headed to the playground, playground B is what we call it. As we were walking over there, I heard a loud boom, what sounded like a dumpster truck picking up trash. And so I get there very early, so I know that they do that in the morning, and I thought that was strange. I looked around, didn't see anything. We get to the playground, and I had just gotten to the little bench where I watch my students, and I heard two, it sounded like fireworks, and I again looked around. I was like, that's weird. There was a coach leaving to, I guess, have lunch, and I saw him turn around as well, and he has the campus radios, and I guess he heard something over the radio because I saw him pick it up, and then he just started running towards the gate. At that time, I knew something was wrong, so I told my students, like, run, let's go, let's go. We were pretty far from our classroom, so we went into a 2nd grade classroom where I was in there. Miss Wally ended up in there, and I don't know the other teacher's name off the top of my head since we just integrated campuses. But we were in the first room on wing D, closest to the playground.
Is that room 9?
No.
Okay.
If I have a map.
Yeah, that's fine.
We were in Miss Rodriguez's room, so room 19.
19. Okay.
That's where we ended up, me, Miss Rodriguez, and Miss Wally. I only ended up with 4 of my students in there with me, and the rest of them were in other classrooms here on this wing as well. Wing D.
Okay.
Once we got in there, we secured the room. Her kids were watching a movie. They paused it. They got under the desk. My kids huddled in the back behind one of her circle tables. The students kind of didn't take it seriously. I mean, they did, but they didn't, because we've had so many bailouts lately that they thought, oh, here we go again. It's just another bailout. I didn't receive the alert through Raptor system until I was already in the classroom and secured.
Okay.
So if I would have waited until we got a Raptor system alert, we would have been outside like the whole, pretty much for a while. So we were in the classroom and I got a text message saying that, because my husband works with the volunteer fire department here and he has a radio, so he said, don't go outside, there's something serious happening, but he wouldn't tell me what. And then a few minutes later he said, there's a active shooter, don't go outside, don't open the door to anybody, those sort of things.
And so you learned of the active shooter situation from your husband then? Okay. And what's his name?
Tristan Hale. And then at that time, I was like, hey, I just told the other teachers, like, hey, there's somebody on the campus with a gun. We need to get the kids into the back of the room more secure. The teacher whose room we went into, she was unsure if her door was locked or not. So they got, Miss Wally and her got, I don't know if it was an extension cord or a piece of rope that they tied off the door while I'm huddled in the back with their kids, making sure that they're getting down and stuff. The second graders started getting a little, I don't want to call it hysterical, but they were crying. So I'm crawling around the floor teaching them breathing treatments on like strategies, how to calm their crying so that way they weren't making a lot of noise. At one point, the teacher, Miss Rodriguez, handed me a pair of scissors to defend ourselves if we needed to, or the best we could anyway. And we waited, and then we heard a knock on the door. We did not answer. And then a few minutes later, another knock on the door where that's when I don't know if it was a state trooper or border patrol, they told us that we were going to exit the room and we were going to run to the parking lot. So we got all the kids out and we just sprinted to the car parking lot. I think we were the first class out. And we got there, we huddled behind a car. These poor students, they were all carrying their scissors too, because I guess they saw us have them. So I went around and collected them and put them in my back pocket. And then we walked over to this empty field and stood with some trees. At this time, I walked up closer to the parking lot, so because I was worried about my other students and having my class together, because I wanted to make sure they also got out of the classrooms. Once I had my class all together, counted, made sure everybody was there, we got on a bus and went to the Civic Center.
Okay. Do you recall approximately what time you left to go to the Civic Center? I know timeline's probably a little shaky.
I have it on my phone.
That's fine. Yeah, if you just want to just kind of look at it and kind of
the
rough
Life
timeline.
360 app, and it actually told me when I left the campus. But I don't know. I don't want to say anything.
No, you're fine. And it don't have to be perfect. It's just approximation.
I left the campus at 12:21.
12:21.
Is when I said I left it.
Okay.
And then I got to Civic Center at around 12:40.
Okay. And I'm not familiar with the Raptor system. Is that something that's on your phone? Or?
It's
Okay.
a alert system where teachers can call an alert, admin, outside neighbors, police departments, they can send it and it comes to our phones.
Is that something that's kind of protocol set up to where they should have notified, or is that something y'all kind of put your heads together on and just try to?
We just started using it at I don't know if it was the beginning of the year or right around the beginning of the year, so we've only been using it this year.
Okay.
But it just sends us notifications rather than coming over the intercom and saying, hey, we're on lockdown, or giving a code word or something like that.
Okay. And I know you've kind of brushed it a little bit, but what is the policy on the school regarding locked doors?
They do have to be locked all the time.
Okay, and that's for every building, or
Mm-hmm.
okay. And do each of you have keys individually to access in and out of the
Yes.
building? Okay, so
Well,
you don't.
I mean, I do have them. I think everybody does.
Okay,
They should.
all right. Do you know if someone has I'm sorry, what were you going to say?
Oh.
Okay. Do you know if someone has a master key, and if so, who would be the holder of the master key?
There are a couple people, the principal, assistant principal, counselor, the front office staff, Miss Jeanette has a pair, and the custodians.
Okay, so quite a few people then. Okay. And okay, you've already answered that one. And so, is there any protocol on what y'all do during an active shooter situation?
We make sure the door's locked, cover windows, the windows on the door. We huddle in some sort of secured area in the classroom. So.
Okay. To your knowledge, were there any issues with any of the doors, both exterior and interior doors, that they were having issues with locks or anything of that nature? To where the doors weren't locking like they needed to or anything of that nature?
I know that there's an ACE room, and this lady just started. I don't even know her name, but there's an ACE room in the 4th grade building that does not lock. It because there were teachers in there last year that I knew, and it doesn't lock.
Okay.
I'm not sure why, but it doesn't. And then the ACE room is right next to the room where I was at. Oh, it's right here. But
And that's
it's 131 actually. that it's
131?
locked, yeah.
Okay.
But as far as like exterior doors to enter buildings, no. I always only come through. I don't even have to go through doors. I just come through the parking lot to my classroom most of the time.
Okay. And so with 131, are there any students that are typically taught in 131, or is that just kind of a spare room?
I think it's a spare room because it's the after-school program. I think maybe that they have speech in there sometimes. I know my students go to 132 for speech during the week.
Okay. And does 132 conjoin with 131? Do you know?
I've never been in the classrooms.
Okay.
But I think the buildings in the 4th grade have that door in
the classroom itself.
That leads to the other classroom.
Okay. Do you know if it's common practice at all by teachers or students to prop doors open or anything of that nature?
Like, do we do it often, or
Yeah,
is it done? I mean,
yes.
I feel like we've all done it at some point because we are by ourselves most of the time, and if we're trying to bring items into the school, especially if they're heavy or awkward to hold, I mean, we've all done it. So,
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, we're not supposed to, obviously, but I mean.
But it happens
Yeah,
through
it
just
happens.
through daily, like I said, care. It makes sense that
But
you
our
would have to.
custodian is Jaime. He's very religiously locks and makes sure the gates are locked whenever everybody comes in, the doors, and he's always going around making sure that they are locked, the exterior doors.
Okay. On the say you have an issue with a door handle, it's having issues with locking it. Do y'all keep any type of, is there any type of records that are kept on reporting it, or is it more like word of mouth? You go to Jaime and say, hey, there's this issue with this door, and
Because it will get done faster that way, yeah, that's pretty much
more
it.
word of mouth?
We either go to the front office and say, hey, this is happening, or we let him know whenever we see him pass on campus. I don't know of any reporting like document that we have to fill out. I know there is probably one on the district website for major things like ACs and whatnot. But yeah, word of mouth pretty much.
Okay. With that, would that come in an email directly to Jaime, or is it more of you actually approach Jaime and tell him what you would approach him? Okay. Is there anything that I haven't asked you that you think's important or that you feel is pertinent to this?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. Sean, anything you think of?
I have two, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
So when you said that when you all were in the play area and you ran into Ms. Rodriguez's classroom, you said you only had 4 of your students.
Yes.
Did you have 4 students going in the play area B?
No, I had 10.
Okay. And then, is it just the assumption that they just found?
Oh, I stood out and I did not go into the actual classroom until every student was inside of the classroom. Like
Gotcha.
I was
Okay.
standing at the door making sure, and I checked the playground, and then once I didn't see any kids, I shut the door behind me.
Okay.
And then my second question, when you said someone from, it was either Border Patrol or some agency came in, did they and get you to evacuate to the parking lot? Was that, did they get to you through a window?
Through a door.
Through the front door?
Of the classroom.
Okay. Do we know how they entered?
We opened it.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, gotcha.
After they said Border Patrol and Miss Wally looked through the, to kind of remove the stuff a little bit just to make sure. Just because we were hearing, because I'm in a large group text with people from Uvalde saying that they were starting to evacuate kids. And so we just checked, I guess. We were not supposed to, but after he identified himself, we
Yeah, check to make sure. I'm glad. Do you have any others?
No, that was my 2.
I'm glad you brought that up. Regarding the locked doors, are you able to lock them from the inside of the classroom, so they have to be locked from the outside?
yes.
Okay.
And you can only lock it with a key.
Okay. Is there a reason why they have it structured that way? No, it's just how it is.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Okay.
And they're old school, so
Yeah.
yeah, you cannot lock it from the inside.
Okay. All right. I think anything else you can think of based on any of those the follow-up questions he just had and that one that I just asked you?
Not necessarily, no.
Okay. All right. Would you be okay if something comes up in the future, we learn something additional, if we reach out to you and
Sure.
follow up? Perfect. Well, I appreciate your time today, Ms. Hale, and we'll let you get out of here. We'll get your property real quick and
Okay.
let you get out of here. And we'll conclude the interview at this time, Ian Hale, at 1:15 p.m. on Saturday, May 28th, 2022.
Yes, sir.
With your permission, Judge, I'm going to move this easel to make it demonstrative.
Graham.
Ms. Hale, as just to kind of go back to what we were talking about the day before yesterday, when Mr. Turner was here and he was questioning you, part of the things that you told the jury was that you saw a person dressed in black with long hair and a long rifle when you were out from the playground going into the room. Is that right?
Yes.
You also said that this person, Mr. Turner showed you this map. And you said that this person that you saw was on the south side area, I guess on the sidewalk next to the south entrance.
Closer to the parking lot.
Closer to here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And but I guess you would agree that he was person that you saw, you told Mr. Turner he was completely on the south side.
I'm sorry?
On that south side.
Yes, and I was pointing with the pointer.
Right. And just so I can be clear, I mean, this is the south side here, and you were pointing at this
Yes.
area. Okay.
Miss Hale, can you scoot the microphone closer to me? Thank you.
And you also told Mr. Turner that when you were on the playground, there was like dust that was kicking up, that you put two and two together and realized you were being shot at.
Correct.
Okay. And then I think Mr. Turner at that point said, so if anybody were to say that there was no evidence that you were being shot at, or the kids were, the shots were coming in your direction on the playground, they would be wrong, and you agreed with him on that. You remember that? I objected.
I
to
do
leave.
remember answering yes, but I mean, that's not my job to prove it.
No, I understand.
Okay.
I understand. And really what I'm doing is I need to go back through what we talked about before we talk about your statement to the ranger. Okay, so when we heard that statement, we talked about the fact that it was, and I can back up and go sit down. You would agree with me that in that statement that you gave to the ranger 4 days later, 4 days after this happened, you made no mention of anybody dressed in black carrying a rifle or with long hair. You would agree with that?
Correct.
And you would agree that you also didn't say anything about piles of dirt being kicked up on the playground?
Yes.
And since you didn't say anything about a person in black, you didn't say anything about seeing him on that south side of the building to the ranger?
Yes.
Now, those would all be important details. You would agree?
Yes.
And I think when hearing the ranger, as he interviewed you, you were given multiple opportunities to say whatever you knew or whatever you remembered about what happened, and honestly, the traumatic, tragic thing that happened to you 4 days before. You were given the opportunity to say anything that you heard.
Yes.
And then I want to talk in particular, when you came from the playground with your kids, you had 4 kids at the time, and I think you said total to the ranger that you went to the playground with 10 students.
Yes.
So how many students did you have total normally?
About 22.
About 22. And I think we talked about that. So, and I think the day before yesterday you said that you thought you had 12 and 10 had gone home, but it seems like you had 10 and 12 had gone.
I said it was about 10 to 12.
Sure. And which is fine. I mean, that's not the same kind of detail as seeing a person with a gun. You would agree with that?
Correct.
Okay. So, but regardless, it seems like more than half of your students had left after the award ceremony.
Yes.
Or perhaps, and I don't know, because maybe you remember or not, but perhaps they didn't come at all to school that day because they were sick or on vacation. You know, something else was going on.
Possibly.
Possibly. And I would expect you to remember the attendance, of all the students and who was there originally in the morning and things like that. But
One of the things you told the ranger when you got into the room, from the playground, you get into the room, that you had second graders, right?
Yes, I went into a second grade classroom.
Got it. And your kids, and I'm sorry, I just forgot, your kids, were they in third grade?
Third grade, yes.
All right. Because one of the things you said, you specifically talked about the second graders. And you said the second graders, they weren't taking it seriously. And the word you used was, here we go again, it's just another bailout. Do you remember saying that?
Yes, I remember referencing the bailout.
Yes. And so could you tell us, because that, I guess that phenomenon or that experience is common to Uvalde, but may not be common in other places. So could you tell us what you were referencing when you referenced that?
When an illegal person, I guess, comes over and bails out of their vehicle or whatever they're in and is around, I guess, running around town possibly, there could be possible danger. So we would go on lockdown.
Right. And thank you for explaining that. And, you know, and I do want to tell you this too. I think you deserve a lot of credit for acting on your own when you saw the coach running in. Because one of the things you said is you didn't get the Raptor alert. And if you would have waited out there for the Raptor alert, you would have been out there with those kids. And I will agree, if you had waited, then that shooter would have been near or around in that area. But and I think you doing that saved your kids' lives, honestly. So you do get credit for that, and we appreciate that. But getting in the classroom and now talking about those bailouts, illegal. We talked about illegal, but people who are undocumented that come over, and I guess it was a common thing at that time in Uvalde. It was a common thing that these bailouts would happen, where there would be some sort of accident or wreck or some criminal activity or something that would cause people to bail out, and it would cause schools to go on lockdown, like yours, if it happened, I guess, in your area.
Correct.
And I don't know if you know this, but since you were a teacher there for that year, and you were a teacher there in like February to May, there's some estimate that there was about 50 bailouts.
Objection, Your Honor, back outside the record.
Well, I'm asking her if she knows.
You can answer if you know, ma'am. I'll overrule the objection.
About 50 bailouts from that February to May time period. And the reason I'm asking if you know is because some of those bailouts would be causing the schools to go on lockdown, right?
I'm unsure of how many there were.
But there were a lot.
I mean, it depends on how you, or what you consider a lot. I don't know.
I guess I'll ask what you consider a lot. Did it seem like you were having to lock down for bailouts a lot?
Not an excessive amount, but enough to be noticed.
Right. And I think that's why when you talk to the ranger, here we go again, it's just another bailout, right? Those are the words that you use.
That the kids said, yes.
That the kids said, okay, the words that
I
you
believe
used
so,
to the,
yes.
Right. The words that you used to the ranger about what the kids said, right?
Yes.
So there are second graders going, here we go again, it's just another bailout at the time, right?
Correct.
Now, you also told the ranger that you were safe. Well, I mean, nobody was safe, but you were at least in the classroom and kind of had started barricading when you got a text message from your husband.
Correct. In the statement it says that.
Right. And in the text message, you said at first, because he's a volunteer firefighter, you said at first he told you there was something going on, and he's warning his wife, which any husband would. He's worried about her. He's telling you, be careful, like be aware something's going on, because he was hearing, I guess, something over a police scanner or something else. Is that?
Yes.
All
Or
right.
he was on the phone. I don't know.
Sure. And then you told the ranger that after that you got a text message from him saying that there was an active shooter.
That's what I said at the time, yes.
That's what you said at the time. And that was a true statement, what you said at the time.
what I thought to be or what I remembered to be at the time. I was still in shock. You could hear it in my voice.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and you were, but there were. Let's talk about some of those details. Your husband, you were communicating with your husband inside the classroom,
Correct.
and you knew enough to say that he told you that that there was an active shooter, and then the officer or the ranger asked you. So that's how you found out there was an active shooter from your husband, and you agreed with him. You heard that.
Yes. I don't know. Can I speak?
Well, so the prosecution is going to get an opportunity to ask you questions after, but at this point, and I know it may be hard, but I have to ask the questions, and I'm just asking for the answers to the questions I'm asking. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So when you 4 days after this had happened, and you sat down with the ranger, and he said, based on that text from your husband, that's how you found out there was an active shooter, and you agreed with him. Is that correct?
Based on that statement, yes.
Yes, and that's what I'm asking, what we've heard in the statement.
Yes.
All right. The, as far as I want to talk about the sound, because there was also things that you said in that statement that you also said here and you testified to. You talked about the scissors. You had the scissors, children had the scissors. Maybe in mimicking, you were trying to do what they could as well. And that you said that in the statement, and you also testified to that.
Yes.
And you were in shock back then, but you remembered that detail, and you talked to the ranger about it accurately.
Correct.
I also think that you talked to him about the cord, I guess maybe an extension cord of rope that was being thrown over the top of the door to prevent the door from being able to be opened. You talked to the ranger about that, and you told him about that detail.
Yes.
Even though you were obviously, and of course you had gone through that traumatic event, that's a detail that you remember.
Yes.
Right. You told him about hearing the sound like a dumpster truck. And we the last time you and I were here, we talked about that, about what that sounds like. And would you agree, I guess it sounds something like metal being slammed down on concrete?
Yes.
Like a huge metal on concrete.
Yes.
Now, you know now that the shooter wrecked into that culvert. I guess that concrete culvert that's, if you kind of go out the front of the school and past that field, there's a fence and then there's that concrete culvert, and you know now that the shooter wrecked into that culvert.
Yes.
Okay, so what I want to ask is now knowing that the shooter wrecked into that culvert, meaning flew off the road and slammed down into the culvert, is that consistent or similar? The truck doing that, a metal car doing that, is that consistent or similar with the sound that you heard of the dumpster truck?
Possibly, yes.
Right, because it would involve the same type of action that you were talking about, which is heavy metal being slammed down on the concrete.
Yes.
And then you said in your statement to the ranger, you said after that you heard two fireworks, like two fireworks. Pop, pop. What it sounded like to you?
Correct.
Do you know now that after the shooter wrecked into the culvert, he took shots at the people who were coming out to the culvert to help him?
Yes.
All right. And so is that consistent, hearing the dumpster truck slam into the concrete or hearing the dumpster truck sound that you heard, and then hearing the fireworks sound, is that consistent with what you know now, that after the wreck into the culvert, the shooter was shooting at people who were trying to help him?
Yes.
All right. But you did not tell the ranger 4 days after this incident that you heard any other shots or any other firework sounds but those two.
I'm sorry?
In this statement, you did not tell the ranger at the time, 4 days after the incident, that you heard any other fireworks sound other than those two, the two fireworks sounds that you heard.
No.
And when the coach, you told the ranger that the coach, I guess what you did was you observed the coach on his radio, because the coaches, I guess, have radios.
Yes.
Okay, teachers don't typically, right?
No.
But coaches have radios, and you said you observed him. What you told the ranger was that you saw him saying or hearing something on the radio, and then you saw him tell the kids to run, and he started running.
I saw his face, yes, and then him moving quickly.
Right, and I'm sure seeing his face, you saw alarm, concern, fear.
Yes.
Right, and I'll go back to that, and intelligently on your part, you assessed the situation, saw the fear on the coach, saw him running, and you took your kids and you got them out of there, right?
Correct.
But you didn't tell the ranger that you heard the coach say anything, like there was something, whatever was going on. You just observed it, and you followed your instincts and your training, and you ran with your kids and tried to get them to a safe place.
Yes. I mean, he could have been yelling something. Now he was saying get inside, but I guess I just blocked it out at the time whenever I gave my statement.
Well, I'm not, something like that, to me, whether you did hear something or not, the point I really wanted to make was that you were able to assess danger and get your kids to safety based on on the observations that you were making. That's what you told the ranger at the time.
Yes.
Which again, we're glad that you did. And and at the point that you were talking to the ranger, you knew that the person, the monster responsible for doing this to these children, you knew that person was dead.
I'm sorry?
The monster responsible for doing what he did to these children and hurting these children, you knew that he was dead when you talked to the ranger.
Yes.
Right. And you understood that the purpose for you giving the ranger information, the reason they were talking to all of you,
I object to assuming what's in the ranger's mind.
Well,
I said something you couldn't possibly know.
Well, okay, if you'll rephrase it, I'll sustain the objection.
Okay. I want to talk about what's in your mind, right? In your mind, when you're going to sit down with the ranger after something like this has happened, that you were a witness to part of this, in your mind, you understood that you were sitting there to give information as part of an investigation into what happened.
Yes.
Right. And in your mind, you knew that it was important to tell the ranger everything of any significance that you saw or experienced during that time.
Could you repeat the question? Sorry.
No, it's okay. You knew and understood while you were sitting with the ranger that it was important for you, just like everybody, I'm sure, who sat with any law enforcement after this happened, you knew and understood that it was important to tell the ranger, to tell this person any relevant information that you knew about what you experienced.
I knew that it was mandatory and a requirement. Yes. But
let me ask you this, right? Even if it wasn't mandatory, even if you weren't required to do it, you would have sat down and talked to them about it. You would have participated in the investigation.
if I had to.
Well,
If it was not mandatory, I would not have gone. No.
because it's hard to talk about.
Yes.
It's traumatic. I understand. But I think on balance, ultimately, you would know that it's important that they go through this investigation and try to find out what happened, how it happened, and to try to prevent it from happening again.
Correct.
And
so we do appreciate that you did participate in the investigation. An hour later, I guess after you spoke to the ranger, you came in and you testified to a grand jury.
An hour later?
No, later,
Oh,
after.
sorry.
Because it wasn't an hour later.
Yeah.
It was years later.
Yes.
Years later, you sat down and testified to a grand jury. And in your grand jury testimony, you did say, I don't know if you've seen it, but you were there, but you did say that you saw clouds of dust. You didn't say it to the ranger, but you said it to the grand jury. Did you know that?
Yes.
But you never said to the grand jury that you saw anybody dressed in black with long hair carrying a long gun. Did you know that you also did not say that to the grand jury years later when you were interviewed?
Yes, I just heard him say it up there or somewhere. Maybe we talked on the phone, but yes.
Sure. So, and then, I guess in December of 2024, so, no, I'm sorry, 2025. We're in 2026 now. In December, which probably close to a month ago, came in and you talked to the prosecutors. And there, for the first time, if you understand it, you gave them a description
Yes, from what I can recall.
of a man in black on the south. Well, did you tell them he was on the south side of the building?
They didn't ask, and I didn't say because I'm not very great with directions.
So, right. And I'll tell you what, I'm not either. Judge, may I first witness?
Yes.
I'm not either. But I think that's why they have these. This is the south, and I'm not asking you to be great. West, south. Did they, in their interview with you, did they ask you to point to a part of the map where you saw this person?
Not that I remember.
Okay. And you said that they didn't ask at all.
Not that I remember. So I would have answered it or asked to show. I mean, they might have. I don't know, but I don't remember telling them where.
But you understand now that would have been in December. That would have been the first time that anybody involved in the case would have heard you say that you described somebody that looked like the shooter.
Yes, but from what I have in my memory, I said it during the grand jury. I thought that I did.
Right. It turns out that you did not. But I think ultimately what I want to be clear on is when you spoke, are you saying that when you spoke to these people and you said for the first time that you saw the shooter, that not one person in that room asked you where he was?
From what I recall, I don't remember being asked where or to show. I don't remember.
And I guess, and you also know that information was never given to us.
Now I know that, yes.
So, and I'll tell you, that's not on you, it's not your job, right? Just like you said, your job's not to do the investigation, obviously. You're a witness, you're a victim, just like everybody there that was at that school that day. Were you aware, or did you know, because the ranger was asking you questions about the locks at the school. And you said, yeah, sometimes we're alone, or, we prop it open. I know we're not supposed to. And just so we can be clear, I mean, nobody's alleging you had anything to do with an unlocked door at any place in the school, first of all, right? That has nothing to do with you. But I'm asking more about the past. Were you ever aware of the school district officials, like the principals, the administration, issuing magnets to teachers that would defeat the door locks?
No.
Okay. Did you, and what I mean by that is, I guess, were you aware of any teachers or substitute teachers using magnets instead of keys to cover up the part where the door would lock so that the door could be open?
Possibly, but I don't think that the school district gave them the magnets for that purpose.
Okay. And so, as far as, and I think what I hear you say is, as far as you know, as far as you're aware, you don't know that they were doing that.
Yes.
You said possibly, is that something, I'm just trying to explore, is that something that you had seen before? Have you seen these magnets being used in that way at the school?
I've heard of people doing it, yes. I've never physically seen any other teacher at that school do it.
Okay, right. But you heard of it as a practice with some teachers, but you hadn't personally witnessed it or seen teachers do it. Do I have that right?
Correct.
Judge, I'll pass it.
Redirect. Thank you. I just want to be a little bit more specific on information provided to the defense.
Okay.
Okay? Of the three things that are up there, saw clouds of dust, you told the grand jury about that,
Yes.
and that was provided to the defense.
Correct.
And you were also asked where the shooter was. Is that correct? Where the shots were coming from? Is that correct?
Here today?
No,
Or
in
when?
front of the grand jury.
I don't remember.
Would you like to refresh your memory?
Please.
May I approach, Your Honor? Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it says on there.
And so were you asked where the shots were coming from?
Yes.
And did you tell the grand jury?
Yes.
And was that provided to the defense?
Yes.
But you were not asked how the shooter was dressed. Is that correct?
Correct.
In front of the grand jury?
No. Well, I don't believe so. Not in that part that I just read.
Now I want to go back to the questioning that's been occurring. Today's question has been very specific. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes. Sorry.
In front of the grand jury, was it very specific?
Not like this, but I don't know. It's a little more specific here.
Okay. And with the Rangers, did they just simply ask you to tell them what you knew?
Yes.
Were you conducting the investigation?
No.
Did you know what was specifically important to them?
No. I didn't think that what I had to say was as
So they asked you to explain what happened? Is that
They
correct?
did, yes.
And you told them?
Yes.
And when they asked you, is anything else important, did you know what was important to them?
No. I was ready to get out of there.
Was it your job to know what was important to
That
them?
was subject to leading.
I'll overrule the objection. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I
Was it
don't.
important for you to know what was important to the law enforcement?
No, it's not my job.
And now I want to go back to those events if we could, okay?
Okay.
You hear a sound? Did you hear a sound?
Yes.
And did you attribute it to something that you were familiar with?
Yes.
And what was that?
The dumpster.
And now, Mr. Goss's questioning very well could have been a wreck instead, correct?
Yes.
So you attributed it to something you were familiar with.
Correct.
Then you hear what you found are firecrackers.
Yes.
So you hear a sound
Yes.
attributed to something you're familiar with.
Correct.
And according to Mr. Goss, now that very well could have been gunfire at another human being, correct?
Correct.
And then you have a coach, correct?
Correct.
That tells you to, or what is your testimony? Did he tell you to go on lockdown, or what, did he say anything to you?
I don't remember if he said anything. I just saw his face and I saw him pull up the radio and
But at that time,
I knew.
I believe you said to Mr. Goss that you were thinking bailout.
No, when I got into the classroom, the kids said that they were not taking it seriously because of all the bailouts.
Okay.
But I didn't think that it was a bailout,
Oh, at the
like
time.
based on the coach's face, I guess, and
Okay.
everything.
All right.
That never, I guess, crossed my mind.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Just briefly, thank you, Judge. The prosecutor asked you out of the three things on here, and we talked about it, that you did say that there was clouds of dust to the grand jury years later, but not at the time, right?
Correct.
The three things, these two things were not given to the defense, and you understand that?
Yes, I do now.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I didn't hear what the last question was. It may be important.
Oh,
Did you say?
I said out of the three things, the two things, you said the three things on the board, I said out of those three things, those two things weren't given to the defense. One and two.
Okay, I just want to make sure I heard that.
And just because Mr. Turner asked you, was it important to you to know if it's important to law enforcement? And you said it's not your job, and I agree with you. It's their job, right? But you agree that seeing a man with a gun on your campus is an important detail that you would recognize instantly that you would need to talk about.
I mean, I know that now, yes.
Well, and you would have known that then.
Possibly.
Because I think what you were saying when he was talking was is you didn't think that what the information you were providing was, in the scheme of things, I guess very important. I didn't hear you because you were talking.
Yes, I didn't think that what I had to say was very important. I didn't think that it mattered based on or compared to everything else.
I understand. But seeing a shooter and being shot at are important details. You would agree with that?
I mean, it depends on who you are. I don't know, I guess. Possibly.
I'll pass.
Just one more question, Your Honor. Of the three things, Mr. Goss has agreed that you did tell the grand jury it was provided to them that they saw clouds of dust on the playground, correct?
Yes.
But he said that you did not, or the information was not provided, and you did not say before that you saw the person on the south side of the building. Is that correct?
Correct. Oh.
But you were asked that question from the
Yes.
grand jury, weren't
I just
you?
read that. Yes, sorry.
And would you tell us what you told the grand jury?
Yes, it was towards, obviously, the building indicating. So I'm guessing I was pointing at that time or something. At that point, the coach had yelled, "Hey, get in the room."
No further than
Okay.
that. I'll just the whole point. So the specific question was asked where, and you said obviously toward the building, and then it says indicated, so you pointed to something. Is that correct?
Yes.
So that information was provided to the grand jury
Yes, sorry.
and the defense.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, Judge. All right. I'm sorry. I don't want to do this to you. I'm sorry he keeps doing it. Saw this person on south side of building, and I'm not irritated with you. It's them. Saw this person on south side of building. Now, what you just read from the grand jury, you agree with me. You never told the grand jury that you saw the person on the south side of the building, however he's trying to make it seem. You would agree with that?
Yes.
Shots coming from a location is not, I saw this person on the south side of the building. You would agree with that as well?
Yes, but wouldn't it be, I don't know, it's kind of implied?
You're saying that it's kind of implied, but this phrase right here, I saw a shooter and he was on the south side of the building, that was never said to the grand jury or at any other time except in December when you told the prosecutors and they didn't tell us.
Yeah.
Pass it.
No further questions.
Okay, ma'am, would you do me a favor, if you'll go with the bailiff momentarily, don't leave, and we'll call you back in shortly. Members of the jury, I'm going to give your recess a little early. Take 15 minutes, and remember my instructions. Would everyone rise for the jury?
Rise for the jury.
Can you be seated in court, please? All right, let the record reflect we're outside the presence of the jury. The witness has completed the testimony. Where are we at on motions?
Yes, Your Honor. After considering the testimony of the witness, we are asking the court to avail us, the defense, of the remedy of instructing the jury that they cannot consider her testimony at all for any purpose in its entirety. The failure to turn over the specific that specific piece of critical evidence has put us into a disadvantage with this witness, has put us to a disadvantage with our theory, as I've kind of outlined to the court in the ex parte brief that I provided. And we do not believe that, again, the court has denied the mistrial, but we do not believe that that allowing the jury to consider her testimony for any purpose, we believe that it'll affect the due process rights of the defendant and our ability to continue in the defense of the case in the way that we had set it up and prepared for in the first place.
State.
Yes, Your Honor. The accusation yesterday was significant. It gave us significant pause. The three very important things were left out. Number one, the shots flaring up around her. Number two, where the shooter was. And number three, the clothing that he was wearing. That gave us significant pause. But lo and behold, yesterday we were able to find out they did actually have the information about the shots being fired up and behind her. The evidence has been developed today that they did actually have the evidence that she said that the shots, I agree, not the gunman, but the shots came from the building and then indicated. So they do have information that she was aware of where the shots were coming from. That does leave, though, Your Honor, still that disturbing point about the clothing not being turned over. We agree that is improper. We should have done it because it was new information. Didn't seem all that significant since we had photographs of the shooter in black. But nonetheless, we believe, number one, it has all been cured through cross-examination. He has pointed out that she didn't say it originally. The jury is aware of the truthful nature of her conduct all the way, and they weren't ready and prepared to do that. It has not caught them off guard as of now because of the court granting a continuance. Second of all, Your Honor, we believe that if the court does believe some kind of measure is appropriate, we ask the court not to throw the baby out with the bathwater, and that is the only surprise that they're addressing is the black hair and the gun, and it would be appropriate if the court feels like that caught them off guard and has affected their defense to instruct the jury not to consider that portion of the testimony.
Your Honor, may I respond? Because I feel like I'm getting gaslit with this clothing thing. That is not the issue about black clothes. It is the fact that she said that she saw a man who matched the description of the shooter with a gun. That's the key issue. It's not his clothing or the fact we know that he was wearing black. And ultimately, I think what the defense, what the prosecution doesn't know about the defense strategy, the court does know. There's things that we could have done and investigations we could have made.
Mr. Goss, I've heard enough. Again, Mr. Attorney, you don't have the benefit of the ex parte brief that Mr. Goss filed, and I think he'll probably gleaned issues from the arguments, but there's no doubt that this was critical to the strategy. And I don't think I have any choice, having denied the mistrial, other than to craft a remedy that will protect the due process rights and hopefully avoid any appellate review that would result in this case being reversed. So I am reluctantly going to instruct the jury to disregard her testimony in its entirety when they come back out. If we could bring her back in momentarily, the witness. Ma'am, could you come up to the bench here very quickly? We're going to let you go here in a minute. I hate to talk to people from the bench. You don't have to sit down. Just right here. I just want to tell you, you may hear later on that I will instruct the jury to disregard your testimony, but I want to emphasize to you, you did absolutely nothing wrong. It is not on you. And I want to tell you just from personal experience, memories of traumatic events change, are different, or you recall more or less. I had a personal experience many years ago. My wife and I were hit by a drunk driver, and I spent 2 months in the hospital. Apparently they almost lost me in the emergency room, but revived me. And I remember that event very clearly, that truck coming at us and trying to get out of the way. But every time I think about it, it's a little different. And that's because of stress and trauma. So nothing about this is on you. We appreciate your bravery that day, and we appreciate your testimony and being brave enough to come in here, and you are excused with our thanks. Take care. All right, we're going to take the rest of the recess till the jury comes back out, so I think they got about 5 more minutes or so. We're in recess. in that regard, and I'm going to expect you to follow it. So listen carefully to this instruction, if you would, ladies and gentlemen. We have just heard testimony, as you know, from the witness, Stephanie Hale. The court, outside your presence, after a hearing mandated by law, has ruled that the witness's testimony will be and must be excluded as a matter of law. Therefore, you are instructed to disregard any and all testimony provided by Stephanie Hale, and her testimony will play no role in your analysis, deliberations, and decision in this case. With this instruction, you are reminded that you are bound by your oath as a juror to follow the ruling of the court as provided. So please remember, ladies and gentlemen, mandated by law, don't speculate about it, don't wonder about it, don't hold it against either side, just follow my instruction. All right. Good morning. Will you raise your right hand? You solemnly swear the evidence in the testimony you give in this cause will be the truth, so help you God. You can have a seat over here. Thank you, ma'am.
Name for the record.
My name is Amy Marin.
Good morning, Ms. Marin. In May of 2022, where were you employed?
At Robb Elementary, Uvalde CISD.
Okay. And what was your job position at that time?
I was the ACE coordinator.
Okay, and for the jury and for the record, can you explain what an ACE coordinator is?
It is an after-school centers program. So I ran the after-school program for the children there at Robb.
And approximately how many kids were in your program?
150.
Okay. And what campuses did you work at, or was it only Robb?
I've worked for the district for 25 years, so I have worked at different campuses.
Okay. And just for the record, where is Robb Elementary located? In what town and what county?
Uvalde, Texas.
And how long had you been at Robb Elementary as of May of 2022?
I had been there for a month.
A month, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And what room number did you work in? What was your room number at Robb?
132.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
May I show the witness was previously been admitted as exhibit number 1. I'll tell you what, I'm going to put it over there so the jury, so you don't have to get up too far. So, Ms. Marin, approximately where is your room number with regard on this map? And for the record, what we're looking at is a map of Robb Elementary, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And it's an aerial view of the school.
Correct.
So where on this map is your room?
My room is located.
Okay. And what we're looking at is the west side of the campus, the northwest building, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And it's slightly southeast of the street of Geraldine, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, had you previously been trained as far as a lockdown with the Uvalde CISD?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Did you know what to do as far as what you're supposed to do in a lockdown situation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And for the jury, can you explain what that is?
Because I am in a in a classroom, turn off the lights, and lock my door.
Okay. Now, are you still employed with the Uvalde Independent School District?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now, I'm going to take you back to May 24th of 2022. What time did you arrive at school that day?
Approximately about 7:30 in the morning.
Okay. And is that the time that you usually arrived on campus?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So why did you arrive early that day?
My grandson attended Robb Elementary that year, and they had awards ceremony. So I arrived early so I could be there for his ceremony.
Okay. And what grade was your grandson in?
He was in the 2nd grade.
Okay. And approximately when did his award ceremony end that day?
I'm going to say maybe about 9:30.
Okay. And what were your plans for the rest of that morning?
Every other morning that I would have to show up to work, I was always at another campus. And that morning I wasn't scheduled to go anywhere else. So I stayed there, and I began to plan the celebration for my students for the next day. So I went to my classroom to prepare.
Okay. And this celebration, what kind of celebration was it?
It was an end of the school year celebration. So we were going to have a dance for the students and their families.
Okay. And were you coordinating the celebration with another teacher?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what was his name?
Gabriel Gonzalez.
Okay. And what were you and Mr. Gonzalez's plans for? Was he supposed to be doing something?
He was the one that was in charge of purchasing food, snacks for the dance. So he came over to my classroom, and we spoke about what we were going to serve, where we were going to serve it. And he had a list of what snacks and food he was going to get. And so we spoke about that, and then he left to the grocery store to go purchase the items.
Okay. And while he was at the grocery store, were you still in your classroom?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And at some point, did you hear back from Mr. Gonzalez?
He texted me and said, hey, I've already got the groceries. Can you go and unlock the gate so we can deliver everything through the back and not have to carry everything from the front?
So if you were pointing at the back, when you say the back, can you tell the jury what area you're talking about?
We call this the back of the campus, and that was considered the front.
Okay, and for the record, you pointed to the far northwest side of the campus off of Geraldine Street.
Yes, ma'am.
And is there a gate there?
Yes.
Okay. And is that gate usually locked?
That gate is always locked.
Okay. So when he called you and said, meet me at that west end gate so we can get the groceries in, what did you do then?
I unloaded the stuff that was on a cart in my classroom, and I pulled the cart out to the door, and I left it there, and I went back inside my classroom. After a few minutes, I said, he's probably on his way, so I pushed the cart out of the door as I'm going out. I go out, and I put the rock on the door, and I go out to the gate.
Okay, let me stop you right there. Approximately what time did Mr. Gonzalez contact you or text you?
It was probably about 11:20.
Okay. And you put the rock in the door for what reason?
So I wouldn't have to lock it and unlock it, lock it and unlock it, because it's always supposed to be locked.
And you thought it was locked that day? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So when you took the cart out you were going to meet Mr. Gonzalez there, did you have to unlock that far west gate, that exterior gate?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what was your experience with that gate?
I have employees that would always unlock it when we were releasing the students, but that day I was by myself, so I went and it has a lock, so I went and I unlocked it, and it's always hard because there's part of that like a pole that goes into the cement, and you have to kind of jimmy it, and then it'll come up, and that unlocks it completely. Two other times that I had tried that, I couldn't do it. So that day, I unlocked the lock, and then I said, I hope I can pull it up. So I jimmied it a little bit, and I pulled it up, and I said, I did it. So it was unlocked, and so I pushed the cart against the gate, and I said, I can't leave this spot because the gate is unlocked. So I'm standing there waiting for him to come.
Okay, you were concerned about leaving that area with an unlocked gate.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And after that, what did you hear?
I'm standing there waiting for him, and I'm facing east because he's coming. He's going to come from that direction. I'm standing there, and I hear a loud vehicle from behind me, which is the west side. I turn around and I look, and I see a vehicle going real fast, and I see him crash into the area of the ditch. There was like a poles there, and the truck crashed. As it hit it, it kind of went up, and then it went into the ditch.
Okay, now I want you to go back to that map and point to the area on the map where you're saying you saw this car hit the ditch.
The truck was coming from here, and it went in this way. It hit the rail right there, and then crashed into the ditch.
Okay. And for the record, you pointed to Grove Street, so the vehicle was traveling south on Grove and hit the ditch off of Geraldine and Grove Street.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Once you saw that accident, what did you do, Miss Marin?
I ran inside.
You didn't have your phone with you?
No, I ran inside to get my phone. I kicked the rock. The door closed as I ran in. I dialed 911, and I ran back outside. When I ran outside, I put the rock back on the door. The call went through, and I'm running to the scene of the crash. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling the operator, a truck crashed on the west side of Robb's school. It crashed into a ditch.
Okay.
I kept saying that over and over because I knew that they needed the location.
Okay. And when you're on the phone with 911 and you're telling her where this accident happened, what do you see then?
I'm still running as I'm telling her the location. So I'm running to where the truck crashed. As I'm running, I'm holding the phone with my left hand.
And let me stop you right there. Why are you running towards the crash?
To help whoever had crashed.
Okay. So you're running, and what do you see?
As I'm running, I see on the right side of me 2 men running from the funeral home. They were running towards the crash, and then I see them stop. When they stop, I'm still running. And then I see them turn around. One of them falls as they turn around, and they run back. And he yells, "He's got a gun." And I turn around, and I start running back. And I tell the operator he's got a gun.
Okay. Did you see that gun at this point?
Not at that moment.
But you heard the funeral workers or the people from the funeral home say that. Okay. So then what did you do?
As I'm running back, I run into the building. I kick the rock and I close the door. And I run to the classroom. And I bang on the teacher's door across from me. I'm banging on the door. And she opens the door. She says, "What is going on?" And I said, "Call the front office. There's a shooter on campus." She closed the door. And the operator asked me, "What is he wearing?" I ran back to the door.
Okay.
I'm holding the phone with my left hand and I'm looking through the window and I tell him, black hoodie, black hair. He threw a gun. He threw a bag. He threw another gun. He jumps the fence. And then I told her, he's coming. When he jumped the fence, he jumped it and then he like shakes himself off. And he picks up what he threw. And he's walking towards the campus.
Okay. You say walking, not running.
No, not running.
Okay. Now, at this time, had you seen if he was shooting or?
He was shooting.
Okay. And what area was he shooting at?
He was shooting towards the south area where the children were at in the PE area.
Did you see children out there in that area?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, again, I want you to point to the board behind you, and if you could point to the area where you saw the children playing.
They were playing here in this area, right here.
Okay. And for the record, you pointed to the southeast area on that map, between the south end of the fourth grade building and what's that building below the very bottom on that map?
The pavilion,
Okay.
this right here.
Okay.
The pavilion, and that's where the PE classes are.
Okay. And what can you hear from the kids at this time?
They're screaming.
Okay. So, and are they running into the building?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So once you go back into the building and you start banging on your coworkers' doors, what did you do then?
After I told the 911 operator what he was doing, I run back to her door and I bang on the door again. And she opened it and I said, "What did they say?"
And when you say they, who were you referring to?
The office.
Okay.
Because I had asked her, call the front office. There's a shooter on campus. So when I banged on the door again, she opened the door and I said, "What did they say?" And she said, they didn't answer. And I said, "Oh my God." And I turn around and I see the kids from the south door already running in and screaming.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there, Miss Money, and I need you to point to the board and show the jury when you say that you kids coming in from the south door, where are you talking about?
I'm still right here, and the kids are coming in from this door.
the
Okay.
south door from the PE area.
Okay, and for the record, you pointed to the south end of that building.
Yes,
And so the jury understands where your classroom is, that length of the building, is that a hallway?
yes,
And then it goes, then the hallway goes south.
yes, ma'am.
So it's almost like a shape of a T.
Yes,
So you go to the middle of that hallway, running from east to west, and you can see the hallway going north to south.
yes.
And that's where you see kids running in.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
And they're running in from that south end.
From the south end.
Okay. And what are you telling the kids as they're running in?
I run up a ways into that hallway, and I'm yelling at them to come in and to get in their rooms.
Okay. So at this point, you know the shooter, you saw him shooting at the south end, and did you see him after that, after you ran to the door?
When I was at the door, I just saw him like getting near the cars that were parked there.
How far did you see him come up?
It was a little bit past the half mark, and then after that, the cars were parked there, so I couldn't see after that.
Okay. But you did see him shooting towards the south end?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And when you're staying in that hallway and you're trying to get the kids into their rooms, okay, then what did you do?
I kept asking the operator, where are the cops? Where are the cops? And I tell her, there's kids running everywhere, because I looked down towards the east hallway, and there was an area out there where the kids could play as well, and they were running into their classrooms.
Okay. And that call that you made to 911, have you reviewed that call? Okay. I think we played it for you. Have we?
No.
I can't remember. Okay. But you did make a 911 call to an operator.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
The state would tender state's exhibit number.
No objection.
State would admit state's exhibit number 9, which is a 911 recording of Miss Marin.
All right, submit.
The state would ask to publish it to the jury.
Please.
We're going to play that 911 call for you, Miss Marin.
Uvalde County 911. Yes, there was something accident right there behind Robb's school. Behind Robb's, they ran into the ditch. What county did it? It's what truck? It's a pickup truck. It's a pickup truck, ma'am? I heard them coming. Oh my God, they're running. I don't know why. Oh my God, it's not the time. I'm gonna have you around to 715 Oak Creek Road. Have a one vehicle accident while pickup truck crashed in the ditch. Have a caller and bike and mouth on your camera gun. Ma'am. Hello? Yes. Okay, ma'am. How many people running? 3 people running. 3 people running? Hello, ma'am? Yes. Okay, ma'am. What is your name? Amy. Yes. Okay. Miss Amy, how many shots were fired? I don't know. Several. I think he came on campus. We're clear. We're coming from the PD. He's over there on campus. Okay, ma'am. He's on campus? Here. Oh my God. I think there was kids in the area. Okay, he's not how. Hurry! Miss Amy, can you give me a description of the man with the gun? Okay, can you remember what he's wearing? Ma'am, can you remember what you were wearing? No, I can't see the way from the door. Okay, I just want to make sure that you guys are aware it. Oh my God. I think he came on campus, ma'am. He came on campus, ma'am. Come on, guys, hurry, come on. Okay, now can you remember what he was wearing? I don't see him, ma'am. I did not see him. Can you remember what he was wearing when you saw him exit the vehicle? No, all I saw was the truck. There was shooting. So I never did come. They just ran. Oh my God. So, ma'am, where was he running towards? You said he ran into the school? Yes. Okay, ma'am. Are you going to be away from the building already? Okay, ma'am. Where are you going to be at? Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. I do have units already pulling up. Okay, now can you tell? Unit dividing college? Miss Amy, can you see him now? Okay, Miss Amy, you can't see him anymore? No, I can't. Okay, ma'am, he went inside the building? Okay, ma'am.
Contact the school police.
You...
The feeding is at school.
Okay, ma'am, we do have the officers on scene, okay?
Now, Ms. Modine, we see and hear you trying to relay information at the same time that you're trying to get the children into the classroom. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, after the 911 call ended, what did you do?
I'm sorry. I had ran inside my room to go call the front office from my intercom. And then I was going to run back out to make sure everybody was safe. But something stopped me. And I looked at the door, and I looked at the counter, and I ran under the counter. When I went under the counter, that's when the call hung up.
Okay. Approximately how long were you in your classroom?
During the whole time, it was about 45 minutes.
And during that time, what were you thinking or what were you doing?
The shots wouldn't stop. They were just going round after round. A round would go off, and then there was total silence. And then another round, and total silence. And one of those times that it was silent, the AC kicked on, and I said, "Don't turn on, I'm not going to hear him when he comes this way." And you just hear more shots. They were like non-stop. And I thought, he's going to kill me. He's going to kill me. He's going to kill me. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I said, as I'm in under the counter, I think, I'm looking at the floor and I'm thinking, I'll tackle him from his ankles and knock him down with my shoulder. And then I said, get up on the counter. When he comes in, jump on his back, poke his eyes out, take the gun away from him.
So you were anticipating how you would confront the shooter if he came into the room?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, just one more question. How do you explain that feeling, just so we understand what that feeling is?
The feeling of that type of fear is something that only someone can understand who's been through a mass shooting. You won't understand it if you haven't experienced it, and I don't wish it on anybody.
Is it an ugly feeling?
It haunts me to this day.
Okay. Pass the witness.
May I proceed, Judge?
Please.
Ms. Marin, my name is Rico.
Have you ever testified before?
No, sir.
Okay. This is called cross-examination. I'm going to ask you some questions. We're going to go as slow as you want, okay?
Okay.
I'm not going to attack you. I'm not trying to hold you accountable. You did nothing wrong. I'm just going to ask you some questions on your observations. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. If you don't understand my question, ask me to repeat it and I will. Okay? I think you told the government that you had gone outside to meet a gentleman named Gabriel, correct?
Yes, sir.
Gabriel Gonzalez?
Yes, sir.
And I understand what you're saying. I think we all do. You prop the rock there because teachers were not given kind of like a key system, key fob system, where you could just click in and out of a door, correct?
Correct.
And not every teacher had a key.
Correct.
And I'm going to talk to you about that. Yes, ma'am.
I won't say correct because I don't know who had a key.
Fair enough. Because you'd only been there for how long?
A month.
A month. You didn't have a key.
I had a key.
You had a key. Okay. But it's still faster to use the rock.
Yes.
Okay, because it's just really quick. Okay. And when you went out to see Mr. Gonzalez to get the supplies, and then you went through the crash, and you saw that going on, and you came back inside to get your phone, correct?
Correct.
And then you go back outside, and then we hear you on 911 with the operator. I'm real curious before we get into those details. Did you realize, what did Mr. Gonzalez do?
When I was waiting, of course, he wasn't there yet. Can I show you where I was at?
Yes, ma'am.
When I ran,
Please.
I was running to help him, so I ran to about right here. I came out of the sidewalk and I ran all the way to here.
So that's a good distance.
Yes, sir.
Because I've been to this location. So you came from the west, and for the record, I'm pointing to the west door entrance and exit, right?
Correct.
And you went from the X. Do you mind if I'm this close to you?
No.
Okay, thank you. You went from here all the way down Geraldine to where the blacktop ends near Grove Street.
I ran on the outside of the campus, not the inside.
And what's
I ran
the
from the
difference?
sidewalk. There's a fence.
Correct.
Here.
Okay. And so you came out here and you got to the blacktop here on Geraldine?
No, not to the blacktop. I was about right here.
Okay. And by that time, had Mr. Gonzalez showed up by that time?
No, sir. I'm outside and I'm asking the teacher to call the front office. I'm in the hallway telling the kids to get inside. When I go into my classroom, that's when I see Mr. Gonzalez drive off. So he came in through the U and he drove off.
And so at some point, Mr. Gonzalez came in and you don't know what he saw or didn't see?
No.
You have no idea if the government spoke with him?
No, I do not.
Okay. Do you stay in contact with Mr. Gonzalez today?
No, sir.
Okay. And practically, I mean, you put a rock at the door because you thought the door was locked.
Yes, sir.
I mean, if you thought the door wasn't locked, you wouldn't have to put a rock at the door.
Correct.
So you get back. You get back inside and we can hear you, and I'm very sorry you went through that. I think we all are. That sounds very traumatic. But we hear you on 911, and you're giving a description of what you're perceiving from that door.
Mm-hmm.
And so just, may I approach, Judge?
Yes.
And so that west side door, and we'll probably see a picture of it. There's not a big window here.
No.
It's a door. I don't know which door you came in, and it has a window strip. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
So your view is limited to that window strip, correct?
Correct.
So you can see in front of you fairly decent, but you definitely can't see to either side without opening the door to check.
Correct.
Is it an outward swinging door or inward swinging door?
Outward.
Outward. So if I'm outside the building, I would pull to open it.
Right.
So is it fair to say that your view from that door was limited?
It was limited, which is when the shooter jumped the fence, I could see this way. When I had ran to her and the operator said, "What is he wearing?" I ran back and I'm seeing him, and from where he's getting to the vehicles, that's when I'm going like this in the window because I can't see him anymore.
Yes, ma'am. Judge, just for procedural purposes, do you prefer me to ask before I approach every time? Because I might have to come back and forth.
No, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. I want to make sure it's clear because I don't know if it's been explained yet. So when you say he jumped the fence, so the crash is here at Geraldine and Grove, correct?
Correct.
And that's kind of a culvert, and there's a railing here, and he went over the railing
into the culvert, right?
He went through the railing, like crashed into the railing.
And I don't want to make you stand up again, but is the fence you're talking about here?
No, the fence is right here.
What fence did he jump?
He jumped this fence.
Okay, is that the perimeter for the school?
Yes.
Okay, so he jumps this fence. Now by this time, you're already back to the door,
Yes.
and you're on 911 by this time.
Yes, sir.
And then he's walking. I think you testified previously that he was running, but
No,
he was walking, right? Have you seen the video from the funeral?
No.
You have not seen that? Okay. What have you reviewed in preparation for your trial today?
I'm sorry, I have seen the video like on the news where they show some of the,
Yes, ma'am.
the funeral. Yes.
And that's something we're going to talk to a lot of people about, because the news has shown a lot of these things.
Right.
And so I'm going to ask respectfully if you could, if we have to take some time, distinguish what you saw at the time versus what you saw later on the news, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. And so you have seen the funeral view,
Yes.
because there's some videos from here.
Yes.
And so he's walking, but at one point you described him as running. And that's not, it's okay, it's normal to do that, but you described him as running at one point.
I don't think I did, but
In the grand jury testimony?
maybe.
Maybe, okay, well, regardless, he's coming to the school. You testified that you perceived, because you're looking through the door, you perceived that he was shooting towards the south side of the building.
Mhm.
Would you also agree that from where the door is, the perception is everything to the left of this door is the south side is towards the south side of the building? Is that a fair
Correct,
statement?
yes.
So if he was shooting out these windows, that could be perceived by you, understandably, through that little window of him shooting towards, because it is towards the south side of the building, but hitting these windows. Is that a fair statement? Anything to this side of you is the south side of the building, right?
Mhm.
Towards the south side.
Mhm.
Because this is the south entrance.
Right, correct,
This is considered the east entrance.
correct,
There's no north entrance, but this is the north side of the building,
correct,
of the school. And this is actually the front of the school.
correct.
Okay. So this is considered the west side of the school.
Mhm.
And so anything to this side of this entrance appears like the south side.
Right.
Because it is actually, right?
Right.
It's towards the south side.
Mhm.
And you didn't know at the time, but you knew he was shooting, and later you found out that he was shooting out these windows.
He was, when he was here,
Yes,
walking
ma'am.
here, he was already shooting to the south direction.
Right, to the south direction. You just
Right.
couldn't tell which were part of it.
Right.
Okay, so he was shooting in this direction.
Correct.
Okay. And we'll ask somebody else about shell casings, if there's any evidence of that, okay? And so when he did that, you're in here, and have you seen the video from inside the school?
Yes.
Okay, and we're gonna go slow on that one, okay? And so, while you're on the phone, you are yelling down for everyone to get in their classrooms. Yes?
Yes.
And is there a system to warn other teachers of incidents like bailouts on the phone? Is it like a texting system?
They have a Raptor system, the school district does.
Raptor. And was that, but you were notified of you knew about the Raptor system, right?
I knew about it, but I wasn't on it.
Fair enough. But the purpose of the system is for teachers to text each other incidents. Is that-
I don't know if they text each other. If
I'm going
they're-
to object as to speculation. She's already said she didn't have it on her phone and she never got it. So at this point, any testimony about Raptor is speculation on her part.
Well, just she answered the question. That's fine.
Okay, proceed.
But you know that things like a bailout could be communicated between teachers.
I'm going to object as to bail out. I mean, he's got to lay the predicate that she even knows what a bailout is.
Well, I was about to do that.
Okay, I'm going to overrule the objection. Ma'am, these questions, if you know the answer, you can answer them. If you don't, just tell him. Okay, proceed.
And if you don't understand any of my questions, you say, Nico, I don't understand your question, and you know I'll ask you again, okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. And don't answer a question that you don't know.
Okay.
There's a rule of evidence that you have to have personal knowledge. I'm going to do my best not to ask you a question you don't have personal knowledge of, but you can check my homework and tell me if I'm wrong, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so do you know what a bailout is?
I do.
Okay, will you please describe to the jury what a bailout is?
It is when a vehicle is being chased by a police officer, police vehicles. And if the people being chased get out of their vehicle and run out.
That is correct. And that school had dealt with a lot of bailouts.
Objection calls for speculation.
Judge, if she knows.
If you know, ma'am, only if you know.
I don't know, not
Okay.
not that school.
Okay. But you'd only been there a month.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But what you do know about that school is that school did not have a full-time officer assigned to it.
They did not.
And that's not your decision, that's more of a school district decision, right?
Correct.
Do you know if anybody had complained about that school not having a specific full-time officer or officers?
I do not know.
Did you have occasion, or did you know if any of the teachers down the hall heard you when you were screaming at them to get in the classrooms?
I know I saw one teacher standing in the hallway when I was screaming for them to get in their rooms.
Do you know if the individual classrooms have the ability to be locked and secured from any type of intruder?
I do not know.
How long have you worked in the school, academia?
25 years.
Is it fair to say that most schools have locks from the inside to stop someone from entering?
I'm going to object at the speculation as to most schools.
Just, I'll clean it
If you
up.
rephrase it.
Have all the schools that you've worked at over the 25 years have locks to be able to lock from the inside?
I do not know.
Most of the schools you've worked at.
Objection asked and answered.
Overruled.
You can say no.
I do not know.
You don't know. Fair enough. I want to ask you about the specific doors at this school, Robb Elementary. Are you aware that there was issues with teachers locking doors?
I do not know.
Are you aware that there were issues of doors not being able to lock in the first place, even if someone wanted to lock them?
I was not aware.
But it was your impression, and you fully believed that that west side door was locked.
Yes, sir.
Did you later come to find out that that door was not locked?
I didn't find out until about a year after.
Yes, ma'am. That's why I said later. So later on, and let me just be very clear, that's not your fault. You didn't unlock that door, okay? So I'm not saying that or suggesting that in the slightest. But later on, you found out that that door had not been locked. Correct?
Can you repeat that?
Yes, ma'am, I can. Later on, you found out that that west side door was not locked. You were treating it like it was locked, but it was not locked.
Correct.
And that was not your fault.
Correct.
Thank you very much. Pass the witness.
No more questions. Judge, and may this witness be excused.
Subject to recall.
No, Judge, you can.
Okay, ma'am, you are released from the subpoena and you're not subject to recall. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next witness.
Mr. Hale?
Randy Hill?
Good afternoon, sir. Would you just come on, stand right there and raise your right hand for me, please? You do solemnly swear the evidence and the testimony you're giving this cause will be the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Okay, this is our witness stand over here. If you'll have a seat, make yourself comfortable. That microphone will adjust, make it comfortable for you. Speak up so everybody can hear you. Have a seat.
Good morning, Mr. Hill.
Good morning.
How are you feeling?
Good?
Nervous a little?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you come over from Uvalde?
Yes, sir.
And is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
Since I was born.
So that's your whole life.
Yes, sir.
And back in 2022, what part of Uvalde did you live in?
The same place.
The same place you live now? And is Uvalde in Uvalde County, Texas? I need to ask that too, I guess.
Yes.
Thank you. And tell me what you live next to or near.
Right in front of the school.
Right in front of the school? Which school is that?
Robb.
And is there a funeral home close by too?
Yes, sir.
And where is it from where you live?
Towards the west.
Okay. And did the place that you live, still live, by Robb Elementary School, were you home?
Yes, sir.
On that morning of the 24th?
Yes, sir.
And what were you doing?
Getting ready for work.
And that was about 11:30 or so?
I don't remember.
Okay. Did something catch your attention out of the ordinary, though?
Yes, sir.
Would you tell the jury what that was?
At first I thought it was construction, but kept going on for a while, so I just thought it might be gunshots.
So at first it sounded construction. Can
Maybe
you
someone-
describe that a little more for me so we kind of understand the sound?
A nail gun, someone banging on their house. I don't really remember.
Like a nail gun?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you attached it to construction. Are you in the construction business?
No, sir.
Okay. And after you heard that for a while, then you changed your mind?
Yes, sir.
And tell us what did you change your mind to?
I thought maybe that's a firearm.
Okay. Where were you when you heard these things?
In the restroom, getting ready for work.
Inside your
Inside
your
my
home?
house. Yes, sir.
And you could still hear those sounds?
Yes, sir.
It sounded like a nail gun and then like a gunshot. So what did you do?
I went to my window.
And where is your window?
I don't really know how.
Is it on the first floor, second floor?
Second.
Huh?
Second floor?
On the second floor?
Yes, sir.
And what did you do from the second floor?
Looked out the window.
Okay. Did you do anything other than look out the window?
Not right away, no.
Okay. Well, tell us what you saw as you looked out the window.
At first, nothing really. And then I looked out again, and I saw someone about to go into the school.
Someone what?
About to go into the school.
Okay. Could you describe what he looked like?
I don't remember.
Okay. Other than looking out the window, did you do anything else?
I took a video.
And how did you take the video?
On my phone.
Okay. And is it a relatively short video?
I believe so. I don't really remember.
Okay.
Judge, we don't object to the video.
Okay. Thank you. At this time, then, Your Honor, we'd offer Stacy's Exhibit 18.
It's a minute.
And I'm going to ask not to play it at this time, but to finish my direct and pass the witness and then play it. That's okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead. Thank you.
Did you eventually turn that video over to law enforcement?
Yes, sir.
Pass the witness.
Mr. Hill, I'm Nico LaHood. I represent Adrian, one of the lawyers who represents him. Have you testified before?
No, sir.
Okay, I'm just going to ask you questions. I'm not going to go at you. But I do want your full name for the record. What's your first name?
Jose.
Jose Hale? And Hale, is it G-I-L or H-I-L-L?
H-I-L-L.
Okay, because Hale can be G-I-L, right? You should spell it a different way. So you look out the window, and from your window, you can see the parking lot of Robb Elementary, or a corner of it.
No.
No? Well, you can see the west side entrance, maybe?
Yes.
Is that fair enough to say? Okay, and the west side entrance from your window, what's behind your view from the window and behind the west side entrance?
It's just an empty field next to the alley.
Is there something between the empty field in the alley and then the west side entrance?
A ditch?
Okay. There's not a parking lot. Is there? Let me ask you in general. Is there a parking lot on the west side, outside the west side?
Yeah, I guess so. It was just gravel, but yeah, I guess.
Was it paved back then?
I don't remember.
Okay. But did you watch the person that entered the west side entrance for a while, or was it just kind of momentarily?
It was just quick, momentarily.
Why did you get a video? Why did you start your camera?
Because I can't see very well, so I was like, wait, is someone actually going in there? Is someone actually holding a firearm? That's pretty much it.
And I know you don't want to watch the video, and I respect that, but what will the jury eventually see from that window, from your recollection, from your video?
Just like 2 seconds of him going to the school.
Thanks for being here, Mr. Hale. Pass the witness, Judge.
No further questions.
Recall, anybody?
No, Your Honor.
No recall?
No, Your Honor.
All right, sir, you're excused from the subpoena. Thank you. Safe travels. All right, Mr. Turner?
May we display Exhibit 18 to the jury, Your Honor?
Yes, it's published.
Thank you, Your Honor. Next, call Agent Gwen.
All right. Sir, would you raise your right hand? You do solemnly swear the evidence in the testimony given in the cause will be the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Have a seat over here. Adjust the microphone if you need to.
May I proceed?
Please.
Would you tell us your name, please?
My name is Huy Nguyen. That's Huyngguyen.
And what do you do for a living, sir?
I'm currently a special agent with the FBI in San Antonio.
How long have you been with the San Antonio FBI office?
I got to the San Antonio division in 2012.
And what do you do for the FBI?
I'm a human agent. What I do is I go out and collect informants. But one of my auxiliary duties is also evidence response team.
And would you tell us what an evidence response team is?
The evidence response team is a crime scene team, right? We go out and we process crime scene, collect evidence, take photographs, write reports, and present it to juries and law enforcement.
And prior to working for the FBI, could you tell us what your background was?
I worked for 10 years with the Texas DPS Crime Laboratory as a DNA analyst. Then from there, I went to the FBI in 2004.
And what is a DPS analyst with the FBI? I mean, with the DPS, excuse me.
So there's several different types of forensic scientists with the DPS Crime Lab. Some do drug analysis, some do alcohol analysis. I did DNA analysis, meaning I worked with body fluids to determine the origin and match them to suspects or victims.
When you started working as the evidence collection team, is there any special training that goes along with that, or is it all experience?
It's a combination of both, right? You get certified in the beginning. For the FBI, there's a 2-week course close to Quantico, Virginia. You go there and you learn all the basics of forensics, crime scene reconstruction.
And could you also tell us about your familiarity with firearms and ammunition?
Well, I'm currently a special agent, so I do carry a firearm. I've been trained in the use of firearms.
And as far as ammunition at the crime scene, what kind of parts of the ammunition is important to you as you collect evidence at a crime scene?
Well, when you go to a crime scene, you look for anything that's, maybe shouldn't be there or is pertinent to the scene. So in this instance, regarding the question, spent casings, right? When a bullet gets fired, the casing is left behind. The casing could have evidence on there that could identify the gun. If the bullet that gets shot could be used to identify also what type of ammunition was used. So all this evidence can be linked together and provide like a profile of what happened.
And just generally, how is ammunition classified, or bullets, casings, cartridges? You said you can identify it. Can you identify it by caliber?
Oh, sure. So they come in different sizes, right? The calibers. You can identify them by it's mainly the caliber, how powerful the weapon would be, whether or not you can fire it from a pistol or a rifle. Just the marks that are left on the casing after it's fired, whether it's rim fire or center fired. So there's different characteristics you can look at with ammunition.
And also, do the manufacturers of those casings, do they attach their symbols or emblems to the casings?
Typically, yes, on around the rim of the casing.
Okay. So that can also tell you whether or not a similar round has been fired multiple times as opposed to different types of ammunition. Is that correct?
Well, if you see a bunch of casings on the ground at a crime scene, you can probably link them together by the manufacturer. Sometimes they have a number on it, which also corresponds to could be the year that it was manufactured. So you can take a look and see if the rounds are similar that way.
And based on your work, are you familiar generally with the difference between a rifle casing and a pistol casing?
Yeah, it's pretty obvious, the size of it.
By size alone. And describe for us the difference in the sizes.
Well, if you take a pistol, like a handgun, it's the casings the bullets are much smaller, right? And they could be wider. The rifle rounds, depending on the caliber, are typically longer and more narrow than a pistol round.
And tell me, there's been a little bit of discussion about when you find a casing, is there any scientific specificity as to when you find a casing that tells you where the shooter is?
Oh, so you're asking where I find the casing, could I tell where a shooter could possibly be? Yes. Is that the question? So if a round is fired, from a semi-automatic, right, a gun that will automatically eject the casing. So when somebody shoots a gun, the bullet will be propelled out of the gun, correct? The casing is left behind. The casing is what holds the gunpowder, okay? The casing will get ejected out and get tossed, depending on the gun, depending on how much gunpowder is in it, it'll get tossed a certain distance away. So typically, when you see a casing on the ground, you can sort of guess as to how far away a shooter could be from that.
But there's a lot of things that affect being specific about that. Is that correct?
Sure. If a casing hits the grass, it's not going to roll anywhere. If it hits concrete, it can bounce. It could roll away. If it's on a gradient, it could roll down. So a lot of things, you got to factor the whole condition of the scene.
Fair enough. Does the position of the gun when the casing is ejected, does that also affect where the casing would end up?
The position of the gun.
How the gun is being held, I suppose is a better way to say it.
Well, the ejection port on a gun is usually on the right-hand side of the gun, right? So if you hold a gun here, the casing is going to get ejected to the right. So how the gun is held, I guess if you mean if it's pointed up or pointed forward.
let me kind of demonstrate. So
Okay.
if you point the normal gun straight ahead, the ejection usually is to the right.
Yes.
Since I'm left-handed, that means it comes to my face, right?
Well, it'll come away to
Okay.
the right, not at your face.
But by the same token, if you turn the gun down, would that affect where the gun was in comparison to where the casing ends up?
Okay, so if you shoot with the gun sideways, so the ejection port is pointed down, that's where the casing's going to get ejected. It's not going to go as far if it was pointed with the ejection port going this way, right? It would go out, pointed down, it would go down.
And by the same token, if the ejection point is pointed more up, that's going to change the trajectory too.
How far the casing would go?
Yes.
Possibly, yes.
Okay. And so as far as being very specific, do you believe we can be very specific about where a casing lands as to where the gun was fired that left that casing?
I wouldn't say specific. I'd say more generally you would know where the shooter would probably be at, but I don't think you can say with a definite degree, oh, he has to be standing right here.
And if you have a grouping of casings in a specific point, that assists too, I suppose.
Yeah, a grouping of casings in the same area together gives you a better idea rather than just one casing, okay? Because there's multiple shots being fired and they all land in the same spot. Well, typically the shooter would be around that radius, or, distance around that, the casings.
And I want to move to the second stage then, after the casing is originally deposited.
Mm-hmm.
Are there things that affect its movement thereafter?
Well, like I said, if you're on a gradient, it could roll down. If it's on grass, it's going to stay right there because, the grass is going to keep it from rolling. If somebody comes along and kicks it, so there could be other factors that could have influenced where it could be by the time we get there to see it.
Okay. And so if it's a high trafficked area, then that could also affect where the casing started versus where it was when you picked it up.
Yeah, the time between when it was shot and the time that when we get there, anything that goes through that scene could change how that scene is.
And did you investigate a scene on or about May 24th, 2022?
We did.
And what scene was that?
It was at Robb Elementary in Uvalde.
And how did you get involved in that investigation?
I was actually in San Antonio at the time, and I was the acting team leader for our team. Got a phone call saying, hey, our assistance is being requested to go out to Uvalde to process a scene.
And did you do that?
Yes.
And when did you get there?
By the time we mobilized, let's see, this is approximate. It takes about, an hour and 15, depending on how fast you drive, from San Antonio to Uvalde. So we probably got there closer to around 2 o'clock, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a few years.
And can you describe the scene as just in general terms when you got there?
Lots of police cars, lots of activity. We're trying to figure out where to go. First, we were told to go to the hospital to pick up evidence from victims there, and then plans changed, and we were told to head to the elementary school, and that's where we went. And then we, tried to figure out where do we begin? What are our taskings? What is being asked of us, right? So we were being asked to support the Texas Rangers, and we were asked to process the outside of the school.
And did you do that?
Yes.
Would you tell us how you did it?
Well, it's a pretty large property, the school with the grounds of the school. So what we did was we have to take photographs first, right? Before we start anything, we take photographs of the general scene. In order to start looking for evidence, because we were looking for casings, right? We knew the general idea of what happened. So our main focus was, okay, let's find the casings. We knew where there was this truck on the far side of the school. So we started from there, did a line search. And what that means is you stretch out in a line. We get all your personnel in a line, and you slowly walk together, and everybody's looking down at the ground to see if they can find any evidence. And if you find anything, you place a flag there so that we can come back to it later. Before we pick up any evidence, we take a picture of it in place so we know what it looks like. And we take it like medium range, long range, close up. So we have an idea of where the evidence is in relation to the rest of the scene, right? So there's a lot of documentation before we actually pick up the evidence.
But as far as the flags and the photographs, that accurately depicts where y'all saw it at the time or before it was picked up.
Yes.
You can't tell us what happened to it if it was kicked or moved around beforehand, but as far as the photographs, they're going to accurately tell us where you located them. Is that correct?
The flags indicate exactly where we saw it when we got there at that time.
Okay. May I approach for a second, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Could you step?
Okay.
I'll give you just a second to orient the ditch that you were talking about, where the truck was. Robb Elementary School, the fourth grade lanes, south grounds, and the west grounds.
Okay.
Do you recall that same?
Yes.
Okay. And if you use this pointer, and we do have jurors put it all the way across, so that's why I have the pointer, so maybe you can scoot over just a touch from it. Could you show the jury what area you conducted the line searches?
Okay. So when we arrived, this is the funeral home across the street. We parked our vehicles here. And then the subject vehicle is over here to the west of the school. So we started our line search from over here and walked slowly towards the school. And anytime we saw any rounds or any casings or any other evidence, we put a flag there to mark it, so we'd come back later and take more detailed photographs of it. And we slowly made our way to the school. We also line searched all this area too, and around here.
So the line search was the west side of the school?
Yes, and also out here too.
The north side, or the northwest side of the school?
Yes.
The south side of the school,
Yes.
at least above this pavilion?
Yes.
As well as you looked on the east side of this fourth grade wing?
Yes.
And that was all conducted with line search?
Yes.
Did you find any casings on the east side of the building?
No, we did not.
Okay. And so your testimony is going to be concerning what you saw on the west side and the south side, is that correct?
Yes, around here and around here. We did find some evidence. I think there was a round right over here. And then we also found something over here.
And were those fired or unfired?
Those are actual bullets, so the bullet was still on the casing, so it wasn't fired.
So those were two that were unfired?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
And did you have a chance to review the photographs that your team took as part of this crime scene investigation?
Yes.
And as you looked at them, was it a fair and accurate representation of the crime scene that you conducted?
Yes.
Pretender States Exhibits 85 through 149 to the defense. Through 149. I didn't have that turned on.
Finish.
May we display those to the jury?
Yes, please.
Just take a second to load up. This may assist you if you're going through this.
Okay.
Okay, could we start with Exhibit 85? Can you explain to us what we're looking at here?
This is the west side of the elementary school.
Okay, and at the very top of the photograph, Exhibit 85, is that the south side of the building?
Yes.
And toward that top side of the building, y'all did the line search across there, is that correct?
Yes.
And I'm going to ask you this time not what you found, but what you didn't find. Did you find any casings of a pistol on the south side of the building?
No.
And there was a thorough search?
Yes, we did it multiple times.
Thank you. And State's Exhibit 86. Could you tell us what we're looking at here?
The same west side of the building.
And if we will, would you approach the TV and show us on the north or the top right-hand corner if you see any vehicles, the very top right-hand corner?
Oh, this one right here?
Yes, sir. Is there a vehicle over there?
Yes.
White in color?
Yes.
Did you search all the way to that vehicle?
Yes.
And all the way from that vehicle back through the parking lot?
Yes.
And were there any pistol or handgun casings found in that location?
No.
Thank you. State's Exhibit 87, do you know who Kirby Hale is?
Yes.
And would you tell the jury who he is?
She is our
She,
photographer.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
She's your photographer?
Yes, our
And
full-time FBI photographer in San Antonio.
So does this document that these are the photographs that she took?
That's correct.
State's Exhibit 88, could you tell us in general terms where we're looking now?
This is the west side of the school building.
And is there anything specific there as far as red flags that you have marked?
Red flags denote anything that we believe was evidence. And you can also see a backpack there.
And when photographs are taken, are they taken in a series? By that I mean, do you start wide and then get closer to close-ups in general terms?
So typically, yes, when we see evidence, we take a long-range shot, so we see where it is in relation to the rest of the scene. We do a medium-range shot to get a better look at it in relation to the rest of the scene, and then we do a close-up shot to see what it actually looks like before we pick it up.
Okay. So with Exhibit 88, could you tell us where the photographer is standing and what direction they're looking?
The wall, if you're looking at the wall, that's the west side of the school building. So she's standing looking at the west side of the school building.
And that whole west walkway or that whole area there is fairly unobstructed, is that correct?
Unobstructed as in
I mean, there's
obstacles?
no trees?
No, you're correct, yes.
It's a wide open space?
Yes.
Until you get down to the very end?
Yes.
Okay. And do you see any of y'all's red flags there?
Yes.
Would you point those out?
You see one right here, there's one right there, there, and there.
Okay. Thank you. And State's Exhibit 89.
Yes.
Would you tell us what we're looking at there?
This is a more medium range shot, so now you see a little more detail. There's a backpack. There's a number 1 placard. So when we do our search, we find what we believe it's evidence. We put a flag to note the location. When we come back later, we start assigning evidence item numbers to it to differentiate it from everything else. So in this particular instance, the number 1 was assigned to the backpack.
And that, how do you decide which number gets what piece of evidence?
It's sequential. As we go along, as we see, and we start documenting each item, we lay the numbers down in sequence.
And to be clear on sequence, we're not talking about when a shot was fired. We're talking about as a sequence when y'all found the casing.
It's not when we find the casing, it's when we start picking up the casing or the evidence. Because as we're doing the search, we could find a whole bunch of evidence and we start placing the flags. As soon as we start collecting, the first item we collect gets the number 1, and everything after that is in sequence.
Okay. And State's Exhibit number 90. Could you tell us about that exhibit?
It's the same shot except a little bit closer.
And what are we looking at as Exhibit 1?
It's a backpack.
And in general terms, what was the condition of the backpack?
It was on the ground open with the pockets open.
State's Exhibit 91.
Okay.
Would you describe State's Exhibit 91?
You see the backpack is open, but you also see... can I get up?
Yes, sir, please.
There's also a magazine with, you can see a bullet at the top of the magazine.
Thank you. And State's Exhibit 92.
This is... Oh,
go ahead.
I apologize. So this is inside the interior of the backpack. So you can see additional magazines with bullets in them.
So in general terms, this backpack was full of magazines with bullets in them?
That's correct.
And Exhibit 93.
Okay.
Would you tell us about that?
So now we're moving on to the next item of evidence. So you see a number 2 marker, and that's what we collected after that backpack.
And as we close up on it, does that show you what the marker is marking?
Yes.
And what was that marker marking?
There's a casing there.
And State's Exhibit 95, does that show a close-up of that casing?
Yes.
Turning next to Exhibit 96, is that once again one of these kind of wider views so we can tell where the casings are located?
Yes.
And would you tell us what exhibit numbers are depicted in State's Exhibit 96?
In this particular photo, mind you, this is again the west wall, and you see 3, 4, and 5.
Okay. And just to make sure, I think you've made it clear, but the fact that casing may be labeled 3, another one 4, you're not trying to tell us what order those casings were fired in, are you?
That's correct. That's not the order, it's the order in which we pick it up.
In other words, 3 could be deposited first or before 5, or 5 could be deposited before 3.
We don't know when the items were deposited.
Okay. And the last question I'll have generally about casings being deposited, that is at a specific point in time, is that correct? That the casing could have been deposited there?
Yes.
So that where the gun was 5 seconds before or 5 seconds after, you can't tell from looking at the placement of a casing?
No.
That is, a gunman could move from left to right, right to left, or up to down, down to up. Is that correct?
Yeah, we can't make any inference like that.
At some point, we have to also listen to eyewitnesses or witnesses to the account. Is that correct?
Sure, you take everything into account.
Thank you. And so Exhibit 97.
This is a closer view of that, of those three items that we saw in the last picture.
And this is consistent with how you photograph each of these exhibits, correct?
Yes.
So generally where it's located and then close in?
Yes.
Thank you. State's Exhibit 98. Can you tell us what that is?
That's another rifle round.
And State's Exhibit 99.
An additional rifle round.
And it's labeled as as tent number 4. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Evidence item number 4.
State's Exhibit 100.
That's evidence item number 5, another rifle round.
And would you
A
kind of
casing.
point out where that casing is? And just in general terms, the casing that we're looking at, is that consistent with the other casings that you picked up to this point?
Yes.
And how are those casings all inconsistent with a handgun round?
They're longer and more narrow.
So it's obvious to see for an investigator.
Yes.
State's Exhibit 101. Could you tell us what that exhibit is?
That's another view. That's the west side. Can I get up one?
Yes, please do.
This is still the west side of the building, and this is the walkway going up to the parking lot.
And there are flags and tents, markers there for evidence, is that correct?
Yes.
Would you point those out?
See one here, you see one there, see one there, one here.
And in addition to that, before you sit down, do you see that a white car parked in the same place we saw earlier?
This one right here?
Okay, thank you. Exhibit 102. Would you describe that for us?
That's evidence item number 6. There's a flag marking where it's at, and it's about to be picked up because that's when it got its number.
And just to be clear, that's on the southwest side of the fourth grade wing.
Yes.
State's Exhibit 103.
This is a close-up shot of it. The casing, you can see a casing.
And I think we can close up a little closer, maybe. Could you point out then where that casing is? And let me just interject here. Of all these, so I don't have to keep asking, are all of these casings that you picked up then on the south and the west side, were they all the same type of casing?
The casings, yes.
Now, there were unfired cartridges, is that correct?
There was 2, I believe.
And they were not the same as these fired casings, is that correct?
That's correct.
But all of the fired casings were, in general terms, the same
Yes.
casings? Thank you. And we just looked at marker number 6, and so I'm going to keep up with that numbering system. Would you tell us what Exhibit 105 is?
It's a black glove.
Okay. And did you know the significance of that at the time?
No, it just stood out because it was in the parking lot by itself like that. So, we don't know what the importance of it is, but it stood out, so we marked it and we collected it.
And it's not your job to determine if it belonged to the gunman or a police officer, is that correct?
That's correct.
State's Exhibit 106 is just a close-up of that.
That's correct.
And State's Exhibit 107. Could you tell us what we're looking at here, the general area we're looking at?
That's the southwest corner of that parking lot that faces the west side of the building. And you see some flags marking where some casings were found, and then you also see the number cards so that we're about to pick up those the casings.
You may approach me. Just to be, I just want to make sure because it's not quite wide enough for us to know exactly where we're talking about. So let me just hold this up. And could you show us, this is once again is the Robb Elementary 4th grade in the parking lot. Could you show us where those?
So this is the parking lot right on the west side of the building. most of our attention was over here where we collected most of our evidence. And in this particular last shot, the evidence was around here.
Right here, kind of where there's this elbow in the parking lot.
Yeah, you'll be able to see the corner right here.
We can see the elbow.
Yes.
So some casings are behind the elbow and some are in front of that elbow.
Correct.
Excuse me?
Did you say something?
He objected to leading us to saying it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me, Jim. And I'll ask you if then the photographer zeroed in, closed in on these casings.
Yes.
So showing you State's Exhibit 108,
That's evidence item number 8.
similar casing.
Yes.
And State's Exhibit 109,
You can see where item number 9 and item number 10 are in relation to each other.
and State's Exhibit 110,
That's another casing, item number 9.
and 111.
An additional casing, number 10.
And would you tell us, describe for us what Exhibit 112 is?
This is a photograph of the same parking lot and the grass bordering the parking lot and additional rounds that were found, casings that were found there.
And those the white vehicle, is it there?
You can see, can I point it?
Yes, sir. Please point those out. And is there a second vehicle there also?
Yes.
Would you point that out too? Thank you. So closing in now, State's Exhibit 113,
That's a casing.
and State's Exhibit 114,
Another casing.
as marker number 12.
Yes, casing.
State's Exhibit 115,
Is it another casing that we found?
marker number 13,
Yes.
and State's Exhibit 116, does that close in on that casing?
Yes.
Okay, taking you to a new area then, that is not on the west side, is that correct?
This is actually on the north side.
Okay. And that has the next number, Exhibit number 14, is that correct?
Our evidence item number 14,
Evidence
yes.
number 14. Does that indicate that that's when y'all found that one?
No, it just meant that that's the next item in line that we were collecting.
Okay. And closing in on Exhibit 14,
You can see that's an entire bullet. This hasn't been fired yet.
and closing in on it.
It's a close-up shot.
And is the casing, could you describe that and any differences that there may be between that and the other casings that you found?
This one's actually black, and it also has the bullet that's still attached at the front.
And State's Exhibit 120,
This is item number 15. This is in the northwest corner across the street from the school at the funeral home.
and closing in on that, Exhibit 121.
You can see that's a bullet also. There's a casing with a bullet attached to the front still.
And it's a little difficult to see. Would you kind of point that out for us? Both the cartridge and the bullet part.
So here's the casing, and you can see right here, that's the bullet part.
And that was evidence marker 15, is that correct?
That's correct.
Returning now to the west side, showing you State's Exhibit 122, would you describe what we're looking at here?
You can see two more flags showing that there's two more pieces of evidence that need to be collected.
And State's Exhibit number 123.
That's evidence item number 16, a casing.
And 124.
That's evidence item number 17, another casing.
And Exhibit 125.
Additional casings that were found, so we marked them again with flags and also with number cards.
And as in relationship to the building, what part of the building are we looking at there?
This is the western side of the building. The air conditioning, those 6 units are on the south side.
So it's the southwest corner?
Yes.
And those exhibit numbers that we can see from that photograph, Exhibit 125, are?
Item number 19 and item number 18.
And State's Exhibit 126?
That's a closer up view of it.
And 127?
You can see the casing.
Exhibit number 18?
That's correct.
And 128?
A close-up shot of number 18, another casing.
Exhibit bounce back. Exhibit 129.
That's item number 19, another casing. Just another close-up shot of it.
Thank you. And Exhibit 130. Excuse me, I was on 130. That's a close-up of it. Thank you. Exhibit 131.
Additional items that we've found. That's still the west side.
And are we looking down toward the south or toward the north at this point?
You're looking down towards the south. See where the little metal gate fencing is? That's where those 6 air conditioning units were.
And can you read from where you are the evidence marker numbers and generally what we're looking at?
I see 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24.
Thank you. Exhibit 132.
It's just another shot of the same items.
And 133.
You see items 20, 21, 22, and 23. Now we see the close-up of each item. So this is item number 20.
That's Exhibit 134. Excuse me. 135.
That's item number 21, another casing.
Exhibit number 136.
That's our evidence item number 22, another casing.
Exhibit 137.
And evidence item number 23, another casing.
130. It's bouncing back on me. Exhibit 138.
That's evidence number 24.
And Exhibit 139.
You can see now the casing for number 24.
Would you describe for us what we're looking at now as Exhibit 140?
Okay, this is still the west wall, but now we're moving northward, okay? So those 6 ACs that you saw are on the far end of the picture. Now we're moving towards the north side.
And are you able to identify any of the evidence markers from where you're sitting?
I see number 25 and 26.
Exhibit 141. Uh-oh.
So now it's a more medium range shot of the items 25 and 26. Item 25, that is a casing.
And item 26.
That's an empty magazine, rifle magazine.
Indicating all the casings had been expanded.
There are no bullets in there.
Exhibit 144.
Item number 27, and an additional red flags.
Okay. So we're back over here to the southwest side, but once again, this evidence marker means that's when it was actually collected.
Yes, and you can see why we're going back and forth is because it's in grass, it was rainy that day, we were doing additional searches as we were going. So as we were taking pictures, somebody would say, oh, we found another one over here. So we would backtrack to where we were before.
Okay, so that's an additional casing on the southwest corner.
Yes.
And once again, the white car is in view there.
Yes.
Exhibit 145.
A more medium range shot of 27. There's your,
And 146.
and that's the close up of number 27, another casing.
147. Could you tell us what we're looking at here?
You can see a flag, but you can also see a like a red biohazard garbage bag.
And is there a doorway there?
Yes.
Is that the west doorway into the fourth grade wing?
Yes.
Okay. And what do we see here? In exhibit 148.
Evidence item number 28.
And a close-up of that.
There's actually a bullet. You can see the bullet that's still attached to the casing.
So this was also an unfired cartridge casing, is that correct?
Correct.
Just have a few more questions. Now approach your honor.
Yes, sir.
Showing you State's Exhibit number 19, which is 20 envelopes, and ask you if you recognize your name as well as the description of the evidence.
Yes, my name is on them.
State offer Exhibit 19, Your Honor. Just for the record, State's Exhibit 19 of the 20 fired LC-22 casings that you recovered at Robb Elementary that day. Is that correct?
Were there 20? I didn't count them.
That was unfair, wasn't it?
21.
21? Thank you for correcting me.
Mhm.
We offer as amended, Your Honor, 21 casings.
What's one exhibit, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's submitted 19.
Pass witness.
Tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, it's a little afternoon, so I don't want to keep you too long from lunch. So let's take I don't think there's a whole lot of places to eat around here. So let's resume at they usually give an hour and a half. Let's make it 1:45. You can be back at 1:45. Please remember my instructions. Agent, you can step down. The rule has been invoked. You're familiar with that.
Yes.
Please don't discuss the case with anybody other than the lawyers until you're released from the subpoena. All right, we're in recess. Whenever everyone rise for the jury. We're going to let them get out first, ladies and gentlemen, since they have to go eat and get back by 1:45. So if you wouldn't mind remaining in the courtroom.